Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are taking on the new Hero VE Tower, the S difficulty. This is a pre-recorded video. This is my first run doing this VE Tower, and these are going to be the teams I used to do it on the first run. However, I did do a second run, but unfortunately I didn't record it because I didn't think this was going to happen. But I did a second run with different teams than what you're seeing right here. And I got the first place spot in the VE Tower. The first place spot, guys. I was so hyped about it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of tell you as we go through this video. Instead of like telling you the normal stuff, telling you what I'm doing, I'm going to kind of explain the differences between this run that you're seeing right here and the run that I actually got the first place run on. And so, this team that you're seeing right here with the red Yaoyorozu, the red Endeavor, and the red Todoroki is actually the same exact team I used in my first place run. I kept this team. I did not change out this team. Okay? So this is a very good team if you happen to have these characters. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, if you're watching and you're free to play, you're not going to have all these URs I have, but maybe you can use some of them on some of these floors and work something out to your advantage. Okay? So, something to note about this VE Tower and the bosses on this VE Tower, a lot of them have resistances that you need to know about. They don't really matter as much on the A and B difficulties, but when it comes to the S difficulty, you need to know those resistances because, for example, like right here, Midoriya cannot get frozen or burn. I think he can get burned, but he doesn't take a lot of damage from burn. But anyways, every boss, I have to go in and check it like every now and then, has their own resistances. So make sure you're using characters that are going to be able to put status ailments on the characters you are attacking. So yeah, Midoriya can be burned, but I know he can't be frozen. So I didn't use like Green Todoroki who can freeze here. I made sure to avoid that. So keep that in mind. And then something else with this VE Tower that you might not know yet if you haven't taken on the S difficulty, do not bring villain characters into this VE Tower. It is called the Hero VE Tower for a reason, and villain characters will just get absolutely destroyed for whatever reason. Like, for example, on the second floor, which we're about to see here in a second, All Might absolutely, like, he just puts the fear of heroes into villains. Like, they are quaking in their boots. They're so scared. You'll see here on this next floor that I do bring Dabi into the second floor of the VE Tower, and I end up just quaking in my boots. So right there, we did that in 6 turns on the first floor. The optimal amount of turns for the first floor is roughly going to be 6 to 7 turns. So that was actually pretty good, and like I said, I kept that team for the next run. So my next run, I don't think I even beat that high score for the first floor that I just got, because I ended up doing it in 7 turns instead of 6 turns. So that was actually a really good run for the first floor. What you guys just saw right there. This team, however, for the second floor is what really screwed over my score the first time. The first time I got like a total score of 8,300 and something, whereas the second time I got a score of almost 9,000. And this floor right here, I'm telling you, made the difference for me, because I'll tell you right now as we're watching this, it took me about 13 turns to beat this. And you can see All Might has immune to burning, bleeding, confusion, paralysis, frozen, and bound. And so it makes this floor quite difficult. Okay, so since he has all those immunities, you're going to want characters with technical hits instead of status ailments. But remember, status ailments that you apply to Stain also count for this floor, even if you can't status ailment All Might. So keep that in mind. And then you're also going to want as many crit memories as you can get. That way you can do as many crits as possible. Right here, we do get like a ridiculous amount of crits because I'm running yellow Bakugo, who increases crit for the whole team. But the difference between the team you're seeing right here, right now, and the team that I end up running in the end is that I get rid of this Dabi. I actually get rid of this whole team and switch them all out. Because you can see that Dabi is feared on the bottom right when All Might goes into destruction mode. You'll see that here in a second. And then he just becomes absolutely useless to me. And then Kirishima doesn't put out enough damage for me to actually make him viable in this floor. You're going to want a character like Blue Bakugo who can just shred through these people. There Kirishima goes. I also made the mistake right here of using my Plus Ultra with Kirishima on All Might. And we don't kill Stain. And so Stain gets to plus Ultra Dabi. And then Dabi just pretty much becomes useless to me because he cannot attack All Might. He is afraid of All Might, and you'll see. And I know I've been saying that over and over, but like that is just something you need to know. Like, don't, you can see that he's feared. Don't bring a villain into this. Don't bring a villain. And then you'll see me do this quite a few times throughout my runs where I slow it down to 2 times instead of 3 times. And I don't know why I do that. I do it, actually I know why. I do it because like I just miss the skill chains with Kirishima so often for whatever reason. I just cannot hit his skill chains. It's actually ridiculous and kind of sad, but I just can't do it at 3 times speed. I don't know if anyone else has the same problems, but especially like with counter on like Kirishima or Araka, I just miss the skill chains and I can't do it at 3 times, and I would rather not risk it, and I want to get the full skill chain. So at this point, I'm looking to see how much longer I'm going to be feared, and I see 3 turns, and I'm like, oh crap. Okay, so I'm not getting this done in a good amount of turns at this point, I realize, and I'm also probably not going to survive with the Dabi in the long run. So at this point, during this very first run, I just decide, okay, I'm just aiming to finish now. That way I complete the S difficulty 1 time. So I pretty much know at this point I'm not going to get the high score, but I am interested to see what my overall score is. I think my overall score came out to be like 33rd place or something like that. And you can see, there we go, we lost him. But overall, if you do not have the right characters for this second floor, it just takes a ridiculous amount of turns. Like, it is so bad. So make sure you have the right characters for this floor. Ideally, you want to beat this floor in roughly 7 to 8 turns, because for whatever reason, All Might and Stain are just harder to kill than the other 2 floors. But during this run, it took me 13 turns. So, you know, don't use this run as an example. Don't use this team. Use the team I'm going to show you at the end of the video, because I do have some screenshots for you guys of my first place run, of the teams I used, and of me being at the top of the leaderboard. And I was very excited to do that. And hopefully we'll kill All Might right here and move on to the 3rd floor of difficulty. And so you'll see right here, hopefully, I think I show you guys. I'm pretty confident I do, yeah. 24 critical hits and 13 turns. We definitely got the critical hits we needed, but we only got 2 status ailments in all those turns because All Might doesn't take status ailments. So keep that in mind. You're aiming more for technical hits, and you're aiming more for critical hits on this 2nd floor. And then we head into the last floor. So right here, I do end up switching out a couple of characters on this team when it comes to my first place run. I got rid of the green Todoroki, and I also got rid of the blue Todoroki. I actually moved the blue Todoroki over to the 2nd floor team, and I put the green Todoroki on a sub. I ended up replacing them with the Sun Eater and with the yellow Bakugo. I moved the yellow Bakugo from the 2nd floor over to the 3rd floor team and replaced him with the blue Bakugo on the 2nd floor. I did keep the Aizawa though, because let's just face it, Aizawa is a beast in PvE or PvP. He is just a beast everywhere he goes. Sealing skills is just too OP. He is really good. And so I do think I do this in about 8 turns, but ideally for this floor, what you're going to be aiming for is about 6 to 7 turns. Okay, if you can do it in 6 turns, great. That's going to be a lot better for you. So just to recap all the floors really quickly for you in case you've already forgotten. First floor, you're going to do it in 6 to 7 turns. 2nd floor, you want to do it in roughly 7 to 8 turns, maybe 9 if it takes you 9. Hopefully not 9 though. And then 3rd floor, you want to do it in roughly 6 to 7 turns. And if you do it faster than that, like say you do it in 5 turns or 4 turns, which would be difficult to do, but it's doable, then you run the risk of not getting the full points for the amount of skill chains you need, because you need a 10 skill chain to get the full amount of points that you want. So the sweet spot for pretty much any of these VE towers, if you're not familiar with VE tower, is roughly 6 to 7 turns, except for, like I said, that 2nd floor where it's going to be more like 7 to 8 turns, because for whatever reason, it's just harder to kill the All Might and the Stain. And you can just see crit after crit. And we're not really burning Togata or anything like that. So this is a VE tower that more focuses on technical hits and crits, it seems like, than status ailments. Don't get me wrong, you can still get some status ailments, but not typically on the main boss of each floor. It's going to be on their little partner. And so this was my first run. You can see I'm getting the stones there. I was fairly happy with this run, 33rd place. I was like, okay. Little did I know, like I said, the next run, I was going to get first place, man. I was so hyped. And the whole point of making these videos is to try and help you guys, so hopefully you can take some of these team builds I'm about to show you and use them. So I'm going to flash over to that. All right, and here we are looking at my first place run. This is the score I got, 8,989 points, just above rank 2 Will the Beast, and Jay Fanta was like 6 or 7 on the board. And so at the time of recording this, I was actually first before Jay Fanta, and that just made me so happy. Like, it's not a competition, but it's fun to challenge myself and see how I do against other YouTubers and stuff like that. So it's always a good time for me to go in and do these videos and see if I can get first place before them, because I know they're going to be wanting to upload, you know, I got first place in the VE Tower. And, you know, now I can upload that video too, and I want to upload that video. Unfortunately, though, my internet is very, very slow. So uploading actually takes me like an hour to 2 hours. Like, it's a pain. But at the time of recording this video, I was above Jay Fanta, and it was very exciting. I wish I had like a timestamp, but still, very, very cool. So what you guys are probably waiting for, let's get to that. Let me show you the teams I used for this first place run. The first team I used is the team you saw before. You actually got to see it in action. Was the Strength Endeavor, Strength Todoroki, and the Strength Yaoyorozu. All of them with crit memories. This one's about 20%, this one's 15%, and this one's 30%. And so I did get a decent amount of crits. Now, I think on this first place run, I actually got less crits than I got in the run you saw. And that actually led to it taking 7 turns instead of 6 turns, so my score was a little bit lower on this first floor. So that's something I could actually do to improve my score and get above 9,000 potentially. This was my team for the second floor of the VE Tower against All Might. I switched up the team and I ran Blue Todoroki, Blue Bakugo, and Green Najire. I ran these because he increases skill impact. Bakugo does like ridiculous amounts of damage, and I needed a healer, and on top of that they all attack all, and blind is something that could potentially I believe affect All Might, so that's why I ran him too. And then I had these memories below. I had 20% crit on Todoroki. This right here was a mistake. This was what was on Dabi, and I forgot to switch it. And so I did not have this Bakugo doing as many crits as he could have been doing. I could have got my crit rate up, probably gotten a few more crits and gotten a few more points. So that's something I can improve on my future runs and get my score a little bit higher. You can definitely break 9,000, I feel like, pretty easily on this VE Tower. And then another crit memory of roughly 20% on Najire. So that was my second team. And then this is the third team I ran. Like I said, I completely switched this one up as well, except for the Aizawa. And I moved the yellow Bakugo over here, and I used the Sun Eater for defense. This right here creates crit for your team if you have yellows on your team, or creates crit for your character if you have yellow mind type characters on your team, as well as a whole slew of other things depending on the other types of characters you have on your team. But I only have a green one. And then this creates crit as well. I think it's 20% and increases power or something like that. I don't have all these memorized exactly, but I know it creates crit like 20%, and I think it increases power. And this is the infamous memory from the shop that you can equip to pretty much any hero, but you'll get the full effects on a UA High Teacher, where it increases the crit by 30%. And so I just ran a lot of crit memories. I ran like type advantage characters, but more than that, characters that are going to get technical hits and potentially status ailments as well. That is one thing I could probably improve on this floor in particular, is maybe getting a different character on here to do more status ailments. I'm just not sure which character to run because I want to clear it in like the optimal amount of turns, so I'll have to figure that out. If I come up with a better run though, I'll let you guys know in a video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. Do you guys want to see other teams? Do you want other ideas? Do you want ideas for SRs to run? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to help you guys. Just let me know whatever I can do to help you figure out this VE Tower stuff. It can be a lot of fun, or it can be really painful if you don't know what you're doing. So please ask me questions in the comments. That's what I'm here for. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all. Peace.